Oh my God. Welcome
We're
back.
again.
We're back. Welcome back to Was, the podcast exclusively for folks who listen to nothing but Gus Polinski, the polka king of the Midwest. We are your hosts as always. I'm Nick.
Polka, polka, polka.
Thought you recognized me.
we moved about 200 units in Chicago, Sheboygan.
Sheboygan. Big polka town, Sheboygan.
It's a perfect hey, let's I know Christmas is coming up and Halloween is Halloween.
Thanksgiving.
Home Alone is
Yeah.
a Christmas movie.
It
but
is.
I'm
It's also
still
a polka movie.
I'm still on my John Candy Thanksgiving movie, okay? Because
Same.
it has
Same.
the most perfect 45 seconds in comedy ever when they go between the two semis.
You're going the wrong way.
How does he know we're going the wrong way?
John Candy
Yeah.
just mouthing he's drinking cracks me up every time.
But when Steve Martin closes his eyes and then we get an image of Steve as a skeleton, John as a skeleton.
John is a skeleton.
Steve screaming again, and then John is the devil.
Oh, so good.
And it's the funniest. And then whenever they finally get through the semis, their hands are imprinted on the dashboard. But
It's
John Candy,
for me, it's
the steering wheel is bent sideways at a 90-degree angle. It's perfect.
For me, that is a tie between the moment where Steve is screaming at the rent-a-car lady, which is, give me my fucking car. That
do you have your rental agreement? I threw it away.
You're fucked.
You're fucked. And she's perfect too.
She's perfect. Absolutely perfect. That or when Michael McKean pulls them over as the state trooper. Do you think this vehicle is roadworthy?
Yeah, I mean, we've been on the road, and ironically, the radio is the one thing that still works.
One thing that still works.
Do you have any idea how fast you were going?
No, the speedometer
is melted.
It's melted. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, we are talking about the greatest Thanksgiving film of all time.
It's like the seminal Thanksgiving film. There was a movie that came out this year that tried to be the new Thanksgiving movie, simply called Thanksgiving. And it was not for me.
Gotcha. Well, planes, trains, and automobiles will always be
there for me.
Be there for me as a Thanksgiving, or just a great movie in general. The comic genius of not only Steve Martin, but our favorite, the rookie of the year's own, John Candy.
Widely known for being in Rookie of the Year.
As Gil, man. One of my favorite characters in movie history, actually, because there's so much depth to that character. That movie fleshes out Candy's serious acting chops. Like, it's not just comedy.
Were you the one who sent me the breakdown, of them going from all the focus is on Steve Martin and his anger, and then it completely shifts.
I was the one who sent that to you.
Yeah. Okay.
I was getting ready to talk about that scene, actually, which I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. But when Steve is just angry at him and just basically yelling at him, and it turns to Candy, and he goes, "You don't have to like me, but I like me."
Yeah, and
my wife likes me, and
my customers like me.
My customers yes,
and it's
brilliant.
Yeah, it's the complete turnaround from that scene, because you can completely see it from Steve Martin's perspective.
Oh, absolutely, especially after John Candy has destroyed the bathroom.
Yes. Oh my God. But that's what makes the scene so perfect, because it is like you can relate to it in a serious way, just because, like, yeah, I would be so mad if I walked into the bathroom and you're kind of putting your trust with this other person,
Sure.
and he he has to know that he's just leaving you a single paper, like a washcloth.
Yeah.
And that's kind of shitty.
Yeah. It is just an absolutely fantastic and tour de force film that gives you the entire breadth of emotion. It has great comedic moments. It has moments that make you want to cry. That final set. I mean, let's talk about this real quick. The entire ending of the movie was completely redone because in the lead up to the film being released during the preview screenings, audiences hated the end of the movie because it was way too depressing. Apparently,
I can see it. I can see it where it would have been.
Yeah, they completely redid the ending of the movie, and I think they got it. Like they got it right. It's like when in football, when the instant replay happens and they get it right, you're very excited that they got it right.
Well, and it's you can see why it might be a little confusing sometimes too, because like especially like the ending relationship with Gil and Steve Martin's wife. It feels like it's been fleshed out and like we've been waiting for this moment. Like just the way they like the tone of that scene is a little just off-putting, just because I think it was edited just a little
wonky.
Weird, where it looks like he's the love interest, like he's like,
yes,
but we're the like it's clearly like it's such a happy ending because it seems like he might be able to find roots. He might be able to do something because of what Steve Martin is bringing him.
Mm-hmm.
So
the revelation
probably nobody knows that story too.
Yeah, the revelation of Candy of Gil's wife having passed away really just turns the movie on its head. And when he comes to the station and picks John Candy up, it's just seeing them walk down the street with the freaking
not Gil.
Not Gil. Sorry, Del. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's edit it all.
I've been messing up too. So
when they're just walking there with his
case,
trunk. I guess we'll call it his trunk. You know, that's just a beautiful moment. Like it comes full circle. They've become friends.
It also implies that they walked from like
from the train station,
from the L
yes.
to the burbs.
Yeah, to the burbs. I would put this.
Or why did the taxi drop them off so far away from the?
Why did it drop
door?
them off at the door? This I would put this up against any John Hughes film that John Hughes ever created, and that's saying something.
It really is.
Because for those not in the know, I mean, if you don't understand what John Hughes' filmography looks like, one, where have you been?
Well, Nick, we found out where they were. They weren't alive yet. From the story that you told me before the podcast, they weren't alive yet.
Let's explain real quick. At work today, I made a fantastic joke, a beautiful joke.
Amazing.
There was someone in my building named Froman, and I said, with a group of people, like 15 people around, Froman, Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago, and no one got the reference.
Crickets.
Crickets.
Looked at you like you were nuts. And we kind of are. But
yes. But John Hughes was the writer, director, and producer of that fantastic film, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So, I mean,
16
that's just
Candles, Weird Science,
Pretty in Pink, Some Kind of Wonderful. I mean, the 80s and early 90s were John Hughes' playground.
If John Cusack was in it, or more importantly, Joan Cusack was in it, it was more than likely a John Hughes movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
More importantly, Joan Cusack. It has to be said.
As we enter the holiday season, I mean, we can't forget Home Alone either.
Our Lord and Savior Joan Cusack.
Yes.
I don't know.
A lot of John Candy too. You know,
yeah,
we
a lot of John.
Let's not forget about that. We've got John Candy in not only Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but
Uncle
in
Buck,
Uncle Buck, The Great Outdoors, Vacation,
Going Berserk.
Yep.
I imagine Only the Lonely, probably, with Ali Sheedy.
Mm-hmm. He's in Mr. Mom as well.
I've never watched that one.
Oh, so great, so great! You gotta.
You sound like definitely. You sound like Bill from what the Bob Newby Superhero.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, just know that it has Michael Keaton, Terry Garr, and Martin Mull in it, and Christopher Lloyd, excuse me. And if that doesn't turn you onto the film, I don't know what will.
Mr. Mom.
Woo. But yeah,
and if you don't get that reference, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know why you're listening to this podcast, and by looks at the charts, you aren't.
That's fine. This is for me.
This is for me. No, the holiday season is a fantastic season for movies, not only of the season, but just in general. A lot of movie news coming out here recently, specifically because, hey, everybody, we've talked about it in the past. Both major strikes are finally officially over. The writers and the actors have all not only struck deals, but ratified those deals with their unions. So we get back to seeing movies.
Yes. Well, I mean,
we never stopped, let's be honest, but different kinds of movies.
We weren't talking about them.
Yeah, movies and TV as we knew it pre-strike is back.
Yes.
Man, like I said, a ton of news. We've got a lot of Deadpool news coming out. Leaks from the set.
Ryan Reynolds commenting on the leaks.
Yes, having fun with the leaks. We've been getting trailers. I would love to talk about some of these trailers.
Let it be known, I probably have not watched a single one of those trailers. I don't watch trailers anymore for not standalone movies. If it's a standalone movie, I do not watch trailers anymore. If it's typically a franchise, I will. But I'm trying to go into a lot of movies more blind now. I like for some, like that's a big priority for me, and I cannot explain it.
So I learned long ago that spoilers actually don't spoil anything for me. I don't know what it is. When I'm able to go into a movie where certain things have been spoiled, for some reason, I get to pay closer attention, I guess, to the movie. Now, it doesn't work with every movie. Like our darling movies of 2022 in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once and Barbarian, I'm glad I avoided spoilers on those films.
Yeah.
But other movies, it doesn't seem to bother me.
Well, let me give you an example of something that I did see, and I'm really happy I didn't watch at least one of the trailers for. I went and saw Saltburn.
Okay.
The Emerald Fennell movie starring Barry Keoghan, the new heartthrob guy, don't remember his name. It's got Richard E. Grant, Carrie Mulligan is in it, and and Rosamund Pike, and it is, and then the kid also who starred in Gran Turismo this year.
Yeah.
And then another girl, and that's basically most of the cast. But it is. I kind of wish Emerald had gone a little further, because like the movie itself is very subversive. Like this is not going to be a movie for everybody. I'm happy I saw it in theaters. This is going to be probably one of the most talked about movies once it comes to streaming, at least on like Film Talk and Twitter and stuff like that. It's going to be. There's going to be a lot of reaction videos to a very certain scene, which I'm very happy they did go. Emerald did go really far on that. I did kind of get spoiled with that by reading an interview that Emerald had done. but it is the most absurd scene. But yeah, I love the movie, but I really wish it had gone a little further.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I bring up I wish I hadn't watched any trailers for it, there's a certain line that the cousin or something says to Barry Keoghan in a like the most important scene in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
She like the crux of that like lesson that she's saying is in the trailer, and I'm so happy I did not hear that bit because it's like out of context you still don't know, but it wouldn't have felt as hurtful had you
Mm-hmm.
heard it going into the trailer.
Gotcha.
Going into the movie. So but no, I love Saltburn. I'd say 8 out of 10. Barry Keoghan, fantastic. He is literally on screen for almost 2 hours straight, and he's he's killing it. Rosamund Pike is also really great, and Richard E. Grant are really good, and then so is the girl who I said has the best line in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, it's like her debut or something, and she was fantastic. So
awesome.
I cannot recommend that one enough, but know that you're getting into some debaucherous shit, and then you have to accept a lot of things going into it, because that's kind of like you kind of have to get with the program.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll kind of get that if you watch the movie. You'll understand, get with the program.
Sure.
So I love Saltburn. Recommend. Can't wait I can't wait for it to hit streaming, because it's going to fuck up a lot of people.
Gotta put that on the list for sure.
So
some of
not family friendly.
Gotcha. Okay. Some of the trailers that I've seen recently that have me excited about movie and TV moving forward. I did see the teaser for Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Not a huge fan of the Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie film, but I will watch pretty much anything Donald Glover does. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. The movie Maestro, starring Bradley Cooper, looks absolutely brilliant. I moved along a trailer for you today for Self-Reliance.
Yes, I had seen that.
It's basically just Nick from New Girl. I'd like to state that for the record.
Basically, in the world of Guns Akimbo and Tag, a movie that he was also in.
Yes.
But I'm in.
I love the fact that Andy Samberg plays a version of himself in this movie. I absolutely adore Anna Kendrick. So this film should be fun. It looks like a ton of fun. The scene in the trailer that I really especially loved was Jake Johnson and Anna Kendrick laying in bed together with the pillow in between them, and Anna Kendrick's mom was like, "We have a guest bedroom. You can sleep there." "Oh no, I have to sleep in bed with her because," and then the mother's like, "Because they'll murder you." It hit fun. It was fun. The trailer for Dream Scenario starring Nick Cage. I don't know if you've seen.
I know of the movie. I know. I know a lot about the movie. I know a lot about the movie, but I don't know.
I
haven't watched anything.
Fantasy black comedy.
He just appears in everybody's dream in the world, and and continuously, and then it's just dealing with the consequences of literally feeling like you've invaded everybody's personal space.
Sure, it's got Nick Cage, Dylan Baker, Michael Cera, Tim Meadows in it. Like it should be a really fun movie to watch. I'm excited about it. It looks interesting, if nothing else. And Nick Cage tends to, here, at least in the last 5-ish years or so, tends to just do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Once, and 9 out of 10, I'm there.
But have you heard? Have you heard?
He's thinking about retiring in the next 2 to 3 movies.
No, he recently discovered television.
Oh Lord.
And he's like, I've never seen it. I've never really watched television, and I've never seen it as a medium, but I just watched Breaking Bad, and they make good television.
So Nick Cage.
Well, and also it's a whole thing about like he's also bringing it about like, yeah, I do want to like kind of stay in one place where I can kind of be with my family and stuff, because like making movies, I'm constantly off doing other things. But if I make a television show, I can probably stay in. Like, he's just now discovering this. This man's close to 60, if not.
Yeah, he's got to be over 60, I would guess. But him and Anthony Hopkins both really love Breaking Bad, apparently.
Oh, yeah,
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, the letter that he penned
to Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
We both talked a little bit, just a smidge about the ISS trailer. I think it definitely is a interesting film.
Worst case scenario, like literally something I don't want to think about.
Americans versus Russians in a tiny space station as the world is consumed by nuclear holocaust. Sure, I'm in. Count me in. That is going to be probably 100 minutes of just anxiety is what that's going to be. And I'm fine with that. The Boys season 4 teaser trailer came out.
Yes. Looks fantastic.
Looks absolutely fantastic. They are just knocking it out of the park with that. Did you watch
Gen V?
Did you watch Gen V? Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
Yes. I literally the day of the season finale, I watched literally the entire season that day, like for the first time. I had the day off, and like it just so happened, like I didn't realize it was the season finale. So whenever I started watching it like that morning, I was like, oh, the finale comes out today, so I might as well binge the whole season.
Just binge through it.
And it was fantastic. I thought
it was exceedingly well done.
I almost liked it better than The Boys, if I'm being completely honest.
I mean, it's technically The Boys season 3.5.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. We're also apparently getting a second spinoff from The Boys. I don't know much about it.
I don't remember.
But we're apparently getting a second spinoff.
You know, and I think Eric Voss actually commented on this. It's funny because they started off as a like satiring the fact that Marvel and DC have all these branches and everything like that, and the fact that they just keep spreading themselves very thin, and yet I can't hear you, and yet they're doing literally the exact same thing 3 seasons in.
Apparently it's called The Boys Diabolical, and it takes place in Mexico.
Okay.
And it's an animated anthology series.
Okay.
So we've got.
I think that's already been out.
Coming.
I think that's been out for a while.
Has that been out? Okay.
I think so.
Maybe I'm just catching up to it then. But that I mean, I don't, as long as the quality's still up, go ahead. But if the quality starts to dip, a la Marvel, then I think time to take a step back.
I think if they start making movies, I think that will be
that. Yeah. I would agree with you on that one. Trying to think what else trailer wise.
Kong, Godzilla X Kong.
Yeah, X Kong.
A New Empire or something like that.
The New Empire.
New Empire.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so happy it exists, but I'm also happy Godzilla Minus One exists. Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So 2 things. One, absolutely Godzilla Minus One. I want to talk more in depth about that tonight before we close out the pod. Brilliant film. Must see.
Yes.
One of the best Godzilla films. It's in theaters
until the 14th. Yeah. Go see it.
One of the best Godzilla films I have ever seen. I have
one of the best movies I've seen this year.
Yeah. Same.
Top 3.
Yeah. As far as Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire is concerned, the best thing that has come out because of that trailer is the different music they're putting to the part of the trailer
where they're sprinting,
where Godzilla comes out of the ground and him and Kong are sprinting. I don't know about you, but I Need a Hero over that is fantastic. The Stone Cold Steve Austin entrance theme over
I
that
mean,
is absolutely fantastic.
I'm always down for glass shattering. Okay.
All I could hear in my brain was Jim Ross going, "Oh God," over and over again. But no, that movie does look.
It looks fun.
It's a Godzilla movie in the MonsterVerse, in the legendary MonsterVerse. Is it going to be high art? No, it's not. Is it going to be a ton of fun as all of them so far have been in their own right? Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and also, if you are asking why is Godzilla now pink, my answer to you is toys.
Or go fuck yourself.
No, I mean that's what it is. It's toys, and that's also why King Kong has an accessory as a glove now.
On his arm. Yeah, he's got a glove.
Toys. It's toys. I mean, just accept it. I've accepted it. Just accept it. It's okay. Like they're going to change things if there's going to be series, because you know what, they want you to keep buying stuff. It's okay, and you know what?
And guess what? Not everything has to be the same 5 movies in, guys.
Yeah.
Like Kong went from being like 125 feet to like 300 something feet, between Skull Island and Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
It's so like, it's okay, guys.
It's a movie.
Yeah. No, I do absolutely enjoy the differences that we've gotten in the MonsterVerse. Like Godzilla 2014 was a very different movie than King of the Monsters.
Yes.
It was a more, for lack of a better way of putting it, grounded movie. It was much more character motivated than it was monster motivated.
Which, as we turns out, can be great.
Yes. We didn't even see the full Godzilla until a good ways into that 2014 film.
Yeah.
So like that was its own movie, and then we got like Skull Island, which was its own different kind of movie, a period piece, and we got King of the Monsters, which was just an all-out freaking brawl of monsters on screen, which was cool. Godzilla versus Kong was fun. It was just a batshit crazy film that had under the ground elevators, that took you between the United States and Japan, apparently.
I mean, it gave us Hollow Earth, guys.
Yes.
It's called fantasy.
It's fantasy.
And it's supposed
and now we got Monarch.
Fun. And it's supposed to be fun. It can be serious, but it can be fun. It can be both serious and fun.
I believe we just talked about that with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it's not new. This is not a new concept.
Movies are not new, guys. The talkies have been going on for a while. No, I'm excited for Kong X, or excuse me, Godzilla X Kong.
They have.
We could have really done a better job of naming.
They have made it completely convoluted. Just the naming of these movies.
Oh yeah,
but it's whatever. I love it. Let's get into our first serious topic. Let's talk about Godzilla Minus One.
I have to say one controversial thing first. That is not about Godzilla.
98 Godzilla movie is superior.
It's the worst ever created. Which hold on, before I get to my controversial point. Funny thing, I don't know if you know this, but the 98 Godzilla was brought into the Godzilla Toho multiverse.
And immediately destroyed.
Immediately died.
It sure was.
Yep. So anyway, my controversial
take?
Yeah.
Something?
Hot take, if you will. I'm turning into Stephen A. Smith, apparently.
With your pre-planned Cars argument?
Yes. Saw the trailer for a Netflix movie from a creator that I have spent most of the time on this podcast completely shitting on.
So no, I don't want to talk about this movie. I don't want to.
Getting close, listeners. I'm actually excited for Rebel Moon.
What the hell? What, like,
I know.
How are we the complete opposite on this one?
I don't know.
I like the cast, but nah, bro. Nah, I'll watch it.
I'm actually excited for it, and it's. I can't wait to be let down, and in the most Snyder way, be let down.
Watch me love it.
Yes, I mean, I'm sure that will be what happens. But
I mean, if it's another sucker punch, I'm in.
Ugh. If it's another sucker punch, I'll just drink away my sorrows. Anyway, that's my hot take for the day. But no, you're right. Actually, before we dive into our first real topic coming back, how about we take a break?
Sucker Punch fan from Real Back. Check me.
Oh God.
I will be right back.
Can we take another break?
I've been on that Sucker Punch. Been on that Sucker Punch shit. You want to come at me? Come at me.
Come at me. No, we need to have an in-depth discussion
about Sucker Punch in depth. And then we can talk about Alita Battle Angel, and that's a perfect combination.
About Godzilla Minus One. Good God, what a beautifully made film.
Spoilers, possibly?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to get into any territory that... this is a movie that really doesn't have spoilers. It's a Godzilla film. You guys know what happens with Godzilla. But tiny spoilers if you want to go in not knowing a thing about this film.
It's just because this movie has a lot more human element than
yes.
most.
This is the 33rd Godzilla film done by Toho, which is the originators of the Godzilla character from 1958. It is distributed by Toho. It is the 37th total film in the Godzilla franchise. And this film deals with a post-war Japan that is also dealing with the emergence of Godzilla.
Yeah, it's literally at its lowest, and because of this movie, that's the reason why it's called -1, because they're already at 0, and Godzilla then appears, and they go into the negative.
See, I have a theory about -1 that I kind of hinted at with you that we'll get to at the end of the conversation. But
I think that's what I
have a theory.
I think that's what I had read is the fact that they were at their lowest, and yet they still have to deal with the fallout of the atomic bomb, which is Godzilla.
So we start out this film in 1945. Our main character lands his kamikaze plane on this almost nearly deserted airfield on an island in the Pacific, and we just hit the ground running immediately after that.
Yeah, you immediately kind of get to know the main guy as well. I'm not going to try and say his name because even whenever they were saying, when they were saying it, I could barely take it. But they already imply going into his story, because they're like, everything seems to be fine with your aircraft, and he's saying, are you implying something? And that character also comes back later. Sorry, that is a spoiler, but it's just everything lines up in this movie as far as if this happens, this happens. This everything has a consequence, and I think that's kind of the point.
Yes,
and I think it's such a great that our main character is so great, because he eventually returns home, and you also he has to deal with the fact that he was a kamikaze pilot who survived, and
he lived,
and that's shameful. There, it's they saw that as a great shame, and I don't think we've really seen that, at least in a movie that's been distributed over here. I'm sure there has been, but this is our first experience with something like this, and it was fantastic. I've never really looked at it from the a, like a Japanese soldier's perspective on
of
World
a post-war,
War II.
post World War II,
returning home, and what that would be like. And
well, and it even hits harder when we get into, you know, the meat of the movie, post prologue, where he returns to his parents' home in Tokyo in 1946, and his entire neighborhood has been decimated due to the fire bombings on Tokyo, and his parents have died.
Yes.
And there's just this rubble of his home in his neighborhood, and he returns as this kamikaze pilot who's a pariah because he lived, and, you know, even his neighbor blames him for the loss of the war because he didn't do his job.
Yeah.
Because he was a coward.
And this is a Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And this is the thing. We've already seen a tiny Godzilla.
Yeah, we've already seen a bit of
the film. And we've seen a small part of a small Godzilla, because Godzilla isn't Godzilla yet.
Yeah.
We've seen this, what looks to be kind of almost a T-Rex on this island where he landed.
Yeah.
You know, what you have in your mind as the size of a T-Rex from like Jurassic Park. It does not stay that way for long, though.
No. And it becomes a horror dramedy. It not dramedy. It a little bit of comedy, a horror drama, and it's like you see kind of parts of like Japan kind of building back up, and it's even implied, like not implied, but it's shown later whenever he does get home and he helps a homeless woman who's also dealing with
it's an orphan child, who's not hers.
Yeah, and which is also shameful. So like they're both like kind of pariahs in their own way, and they kind of take each other in, and that's like the most disappointing part of the movie, is the fact that, like, I guess that's the whole point, because he didn't fulfill the thing that he should have, that he knows he should have, by being with her, and that's a bit of the drama. But it's such a great movie. Like, they build up their story, they build up his work life, and it's a Godzilla movie.
Well, I love the fact that at its core, this movie is about a man overcoming his trauma and building a family, and not just like, it's not his blood family, but the woman,
he's being there for people.
The woman that he takes in, with the child that was orphaned, with his friends in the job that he gets, which the job that he gets is a government job where they are mine sweeping the ocean basically around Japan to get rid of the mines that the Japanese and American naval boats placed during the war. It's a very interesting historical look at things in the lens of a Godzilla film.
Yes.
But it's also this building a family that's not necessarily your blood family, which is a really neat concept to see done in this way.
Yeah. And then whenever you finally do get to the action of the Godzilla movie, it's one of the better action movies I've seen.
Absolutely, but it's still character driven, which I can completely appreciate.
And it's all about problem solving as well, too. Like, and this has, like, I've watched a lot of Godzilla movies. I always do credit the 1998 Godzilla movie to getting me into Godzilla.
Godzilla, sure.
Because when the trailers started coming out, I didn't really know anything about Godzilla before that, until I started watching I had the toys from Taco Bell. I had all that stuff, and then whenever the movie came out, I was like So 19, I was 9 or 10. So the movie did not disappoint me as a 9 or 10 year old. They had a advertisement for Josta in it. Okay, I was drinking a Josta at the theater. If you don't remember, it was like a guarana like flavored soda.
It was, yeah.
Hinted in like 2001. It did show up in the first season of Loki. I was so happy to see it. But what's it called? But after that movie came out, I lived in a cul-de-sac on a military base, and one of my neighbors had like 20 VHSs of Godzilla movies, and I watched them all. So I like that's why I do credit the 1998 Godzilla, because it got me into it. Is it the best? No. Is it a lot of fun for me? Yes. But so I've watched a lot of them. Godzilla Minus One is, I think, my third favorite movie. I love the 1958, but I don't want to pin these two against each other because they're completely different movies. But
so different, yeah.
Shin Godzilla is my second favorite, and then
so
Minus
good.
One is my favorite. I mean, Shin Godzilla, at least it gives us people setting up copy machines.
Which is obviously an important thing.
But no, I mean, the problem solving to like getting rid of this Godzilla, I think, is one of the more creative that I've ever seen. I loved the like both parts of the plan,
taking it down into the trench, bringing it back up quickly.
It's incredible. It's
incredible.
That's like, I love that so damn much.
The character building that is done in that scene in particular, where we get the flashback of the guy who was running the airfield at the beginning of the movie to being the guy who's helping him fix up the plane at the end, putting in an ejector seat in the kamikaze plane and telling him, you have to live. That's really cool. That's an amazing character moment to see in a film like this.
I was looking at that cockpit the entire time. I was like,
there's something.
It's no. There's like slim amount of room there, man.
No, as a film, not just as a monster movie, but as a film, as a story being told, as a drama, it is perfectly scripted and perfectly done. The Godzilla portion of this is just a completely added bonus.
Yes.
Like I could have watched a movie about this kamikaze pilot coming back and developing a new life. I could have just watched that and been very, very happy. But the fact that I got Godzilla in it as well was epic. I want to talk a little bit about the monster itself as well. How they created it, what it looks like. I think it is a very interesting but also classical take on the monster. It's not over the top. It's not a complete redo like the 98 film was. This is, and that wasn't a negative. I'm just saying.
No. I have to laugh at the movie.
Yeah. The 98 film just took Godzilla and said, we're not going to do that. We're going to do our own thing, which admirable. You do you. This one was a unique take in the fact that it looked like it was a lived-in character in this world, and it had scars and awesome scales. And then when it was using its atomic breath,
that was my favorite part. Like,
so
literally that element that they added to
where the spines on the back would pop up and glow. Cool.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Its regenerative properties were really freaking cool.
That fucked me up, man.
Like when they blew up one of the mines in its mouth and its like face explodes off and then it just
regenerates
back.
It it was, I loved it.
Very cool departure. I like what they've done in the last couple of Japanese Godzilla films. Shin Godzilla, you brought up a definite different take on the look of the monster, how it evolved.
It was
in the movie.
Evolving monster that was in constant pain.
It's not we're not in the age of the guy in the suit anymore.
Which those are fine.
Those are fine. I think Godzilla Millennium was probably the last time we were going to get a guy in a suit. Is all I'm saying.
Probably.
This movie had a $15 million budget, and they put that on screen. Is all I'm saying. Like,
well, and I was telling my sister this. Like, I was like, yeah, I imagine a lot of it. Like, there's a ton of practical, but there's a lot of special effects in this movie. I was like, but you know what? Like, and this is like, I hope people don't think this is me being like
critical.
No, like what's the word? Like, it's not racist, but the generalization of a people.
Sure.
I watch special effects like react shows like of like very respected special effects people, and whenever they've talked about Japanese and Indian movies, they're like, no, the people over there, like the animators that they have are fantastic. They've put out some of the best stuff that people aren't, like, around the world aren't seeing because it's like for their market, but they put out great work. So whenever I whenever I saw the budget and I was like, and that's the product that they put out, I was like,
it's amazing.
Like, that doesn't surprise me. They have some of the best animators in the world working over there. So it doesn't surprise me that they were able to accomplish that with that.
On that small of a budget, it's just amazing because no notes on the VFX. I thought it looked amazing. The film was beautifully shot for sure. No, I definitely put it up there high on my likes of Godzilla. I think it's probably number 2 for me overall. I still think 2014's Godzilla is my favorite. I can't tell you why.
That's fine.
I've seen a ton of the 33 Toho films, and all of them are fun. But the story that 2014's told, the acting in it, and I just really enjoyed the Godzilla model, the mock-up of Godzilla from that movie.
But I will say they've skinified Godzilla a little bit for Godzilla X Kong.
They did. Because he's got a sprint, man.
So many people were complaining about Fat Kong for the longest time, but whenever they finally got rid of Fat Kong, now you're complaining that Fat Kong's gone. Come on, what do you want? They listened. They gave you what you want, and now you're mad. Yeah.
I'll
take my Kong anyway. Okay. You know what? I'll take my like little like slug salamander Kong from the beginning of Godzilla Minus One. Okay. I'll take my Godzilla.
You mean Godzilla, not Kong?
Shin Godzilla. That's what.
Yeah, you kept saying Kong. I was like, wait.
Shut up. I was wrong, and I'm man enough to admit it now.
Kong bows to no one, Drew.
Yeah. Didn't he kind of bow to Godzilla at the end?
Nah.
Oh no, he just like gave him like a head nod or whatever.
He did the man thing.
The thing that we all understand in every species.
Every species understands I don't want to say words to you, but I want to acknowledge you're there.
Yeah.
We're all in this together head nod.
Moving on just a little bit. I mean, I'm sorry. Like Godzilla.
Oh no, real quick. I want to.
Minus one, 9 out of 10.
I also give it a 9 out of 10. I want to give you my full theory. So.
Oh yeah, please.
So this movie takes place in the 1940s. 1945, 1946. The main action at the end of the film takes place in 1947. The original Toho Godzilla came out in 1958.
54, sorry.
54. You knew what I'm talking about.
Like you were saying 50. I was like, maybe I'm wrong.
Sorry, I will also admit that I'm wrong then. So the original Godzilla, came out 7 years after this took place, basically.
Yeah.
So my gut feeling is that this is technically a prequel. This is the same Godzilla we get from 1954, just he's regenerated from the Godzilla that we get at the end of this film.
It's possible.
I know not everything has to be connected. I will be put that out in the ether.
And that's what I would prefer, because I don't consider this even in the same world as another movie that they put out even like 6 years ago with Shin, because I don't think they're part of the same universe at all.
No, I don't either.
And I think they're part of the same company, but they
are.
Yeah, I don't think they need to. I think the 1954 it's perfect in its own way, and I think Minus One and Shin are perfect in their own ways.
Oh, I agree.
I don't think so. I would have to. It would be a wild stretch, but you know what? Money comes from franchises, unfortunately, and you could easily kind of tie that. But at that point, would you be remaking the 1954 though?
Yeah, I don't know. I know that the two cool things about this are, first and foremost, this was released in anticipation of the 70th anniversary of Toho's Godzilla. It was released 69 years to the day of the release of the 54 Godzilla. And also, this film has been nominated, or is a finalist, I should say, for Best Visual Effects at the 96th Academy Awards. And it damn well should be.
I would love to see this in the nomination for Best Picture.
Agreed.
And not just Best Foreign. I would put
No, Best Picture. Period.
I would put, and I think it would be a worthy contender. Do you know what's not a worthy contender though? Moving on, segue.
Moving on. All right. What is not a contender? Are we going to talk about the Holdovers?
It was on AFI's top 10 movies of the year, American movies of the year. And you know what?
Paul Giamatti is on the short list for an Oscar for that.
And film. That's not Paul Giamatti, but that movie being a top 10 movie is a stretch. I think people want it to be a top 10 movie. I think people want it to be a Paul Giamatti worthy Oscar nomination. He's good in it, and I mean he's Paul Giamatti. You completely believe he's the character that he's playing.
Oh yeah, no, he's a brilliant actor.
I'm not saying that even a little bit that he's bad at it. I was talking to my sister about it earlier. But do you know who puts in the best performance in this movie and has the best scene in this movie?
Who?
Divine Joy Randolph.
Really?
I would give you the context, but if you do kind of seem interested in the movie, so I'm not going to spoil it for you. But she has a scene at a Christmas party that is like blow the doors off. Like that. Like if she is to get a nomination, that's the scene that they're going to show in any award show that she's a part of. And you know what? I'd say, like, I haven't seen every movie this year who has a great standout what's it called, best supporting actor or actress, but you know what, she put in the best scene in the movie in a adequate movie about personal growth. I give this movie a 7 out of 10, but I bump it up a little bit because of that performance and the fact that Paul Giamatti is really good in it. It's just, it's nothing special nothing stands it apart as being special.
Excuse me.
Nothing stands it apart from being special from other personal growth movies except for that one scene. And then they try and add a little bit at the end, but at that point I was like, I'm kind of done with this movie. I'm ready for it to be over.
Gotcha.
And they it didn't get me back. They didn't bring me back. So,
gotcha.
Well, it's a good movie, not a great movie.
Well, for me, Godzilla Minus One is like my probably second favorite movie of the year. I still got to shout out to Oppenheimer as being my favorite movie of the year.
Oh, I get it.
Bought it in 4K. Gonna watch it on the home theater setup this weekend in Dolby Vision with Dolby Atmos. I'm hoping that it gives me a sense,
of the feeling
at least
you had.
50% of the feeling that I had in IMAX. But Godzilla Minus One, number 2. Probably number 3 would be Barbie, just because I absolutely adore that film.
Yeah. I just got I got a copy of it for during Black Friday. So
nice.
Yeah. You know what movie was actually pretty good that like it's being known as a bomb for Marvel. It's like their least grossing
The
movie.
Marvels?
I loved it. I thought it was
I
fun.
enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. It was a fun movie.
I mean, keep giving me Amon Villani. I'll keep watching what the fuck she does.
She is a joy. She is a joy.
I like Brie Larson. I like Tiana Paris. This is probably my favorite version of what's his name?
Nick Fury
that we've gotten in a while. He was having fun in this movie because he got to work with Amon. He got to work with Brie Larson, who they're apparently like good friends. So he looked like he was having a blast. I love the Marvels. Keep giving me more. Like like one scene I didn't really enjoy, and it's the scene that like people really do enjoy. It just kind of took it's with all the Flurkins.
Yeah.
It's just I was like, yeah, it's just that's just like a slapstick a little bit too much for me.
Yeah.
But everything else, keep giving me the Marvels. I loved it.
I'll tell you what I didn't enjoy from 2023, and everybody is up Martin Scorsese's ass about it being brilliant, and that was Killers of the Flower Moon. I thought it was terrible.
Good. I still haven't seen it. I had planned to, and then like I had an extended break during Thanksgiving, which I gave myself an extra like 2 days off during that time. Go Blue. Michigan beat Ohio, which I have a floating holiday every single year for that Saturday. Like that's one of my holidays.
Nice.
Is the game. And they're
it was a fun ass game to watch, that's for sure. And now my Mizzou Tigers get to face the bums from Columbus in the Cotton Bowl.
Who's going to be on the team? I don't know.
Don't care.
Ian Fleming's gone.
An 11th win would be really nice. McLeod's gone.
Yeah. Not McLeod.
No, not McLeod. McCord.
McCord, yeah. They're I doubt Marvin Harrison Jr. plays.
There is a rumor that Marvin Harrison Jr. does not declare for the draft simply because he has not yet beat Michigan.
I don't think next year is going to be the year either, bro.
Just saying.
Okay.
That is the rumor that's out there.
He would be the number 2 pick in the draft this year. You're not you're a wide receiver. Your stock's not going to be higher than that.
No, it's not.
Go play for the Bears and just like get over it, man. You're gonna be a Bear. It's fine. I won't like you just because like I loved your dad. I won't like you because you played for Ohio. And that's just gonna be a thing. I'll respect you because you're a good football player, kind of like CJ Stroud. Don't give a shit about that dude, but you know what? He's a good fucking football player. Played for the wrong team, bro.
Jesus. That's when we lost Drew.
I love what's his name? Liked Ezekiel Elliott when he was with the Cowboys, at least those early years. I still like him. You know what? You played for the wrong team. Don't give a shit about you, bro.
Jesus.
Alvin Kamara, you're catching strays too, bro. You played for Tennessee. Guess what your Tennessee Volunteers head coach did to us in 1997 or 1998? You fucked us over. Love you, Alvin Kamara, but fuck you, bro. Tennessee.
God.
Alabama, you're on the clock, man.
Just in a.
I'm in it.
You're in a way, man.
I avoided. I have not gloated about Michigan to anybody. I'm a pretty passive fan. Like I'm understanding of everything. Like I'm like when they're down, they're down. But you know what? I'm in my on my skis right now. No, it's Alabama. Like Blake Corum told Iowa as soon as we beat Ohio State, he was running back to the locker room, turned back to the camera and said, Iowa, you're on the clock. I guarantee you, as soon as Alabama pulled up on that screen in that hotel room, like gallery in Indianapolis, Blake Corum said, Alabama's on the fucking clock.
God. Wow. So So angry.
Go blue, baby.
So angry.
I watched 32 horror movies during October. We haven't talked for a while. I watched Knock at the I'm trying to get some 2023 movies in. I watched Knock at the Cabin. It's okay. It's like the least uneventful M. Night Shyamalan movie. Renfield was fun.
I enjoyed Renfield. I thought it was a blast.
I'll watch anything with Nicholas Hoult in it. Give me Nicholas Hoult, I'll watch him. I mean,
Nicholas Hoult is your new Lex Luthor.
He is. That's not a big selling. Lex Luthor is not the big selling point for me, but I mean, what's his name? Yeah. Oh no. Oh, hey Nick, I think you would like this. I think the kids would like this. If you haven't watched it yet, it is a 2023 movie. You should get it done before we do our list. Nimona. Fantastic. Okay. Fantastic. It's on Netflix.
I'm in.
Amazing animation.
I love animation.
Yeah. Animation is film.
Film. Thank you, Guillermo.
And
Across the Spider-Verse was on AFI's top 10.
Yeah, and Phil Lord and Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were all on that this past week because all like nomination stuff is starting to come out. Can't wait to see Poor Things. Poor Things is I think next week for me. I'm gonna go see The Boy and the Heron in 20-something minutes. I'm ready for this year to be over because there's more. I'm ready for The Iron Claw, which is not a Christmas movie coming out near Christmas. So guys, bring your tissues. And I'm not saying you're bringing tissues to masturbate to The Iron Claw. I'm just saying it's going to be a different reason why you're going to need those tissues. Okay.
Oh.
I mean, you can. But there's going to be some crying. But if you already cry when you masturbate, that might just be a normal thing.
Bring extra tissues in that case.
And then, yeah, I'm here for you. Okay, I'm here for you for your movie knowledge. Okay, I got it.
Iron Claw is an A24 film, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It's gonna be something, and people are gonna be leaving that theater a little confused as to what their expectations were beforehand, thinking it's a wrestling movie.
It should be a wrestling movie. It's about wrestlers.
About more of a family who happen to wrestle.
Ah, gotcha. It's got a killer cast.
It really does. I cannot wait for it. I like Zac Efron anyway. Big fan of that dude.
He's got chops, man.
Yeah, he's more than just Troy Bolton. Okay, I've never even watched a single High School Musical. I know he's more than. I
had no idea what character you were referencing. Okay. I'll be real honest.
I know the character's name, but I don't know anything beyond that. He's more than just Troy Bolton.
I'm excited to see Jeremy Allen White in something other than the Bear, which is fantastic, mind you.
Yeah. Aoe Beery too. So she's fantastic in that as well. But yeah, I'm very excited for the rest of the year of movies. And actually, I'm going to be hopefully launching back my old podcast, but it's not going to be like the same format. I'm coming up with a whole new thing, but I'm going to be talking about people's movies that they grew up with, and then movies that they like now, and we're going to kind of analyze that, like where like we're going to try and figure out what their taste, how their taste evolved, and why it did. I think I'm going to try that here soon. I got a couple people lined up, and I'm going to bank a couple, and if a couple go well, I might be able to get some bigger people. So just because luckily Arizona comedy, some people are coming up real big. So I'm excited for that.
That's awesome.
Nick, do you have anything you want to talk about before we
go see
and go see other and talk about other movies?
Go see Godzilla Minus One, damn it.
Please. Yeah, you have 7 more days to go see 6 more, like, December
Godzilla
14th.
Minus One. It is brilliant.
Fantastic cinema.
Took the eldest boy, and all he could do was talk about it for the last 2 days, and he wants to go see it again. So go see it. It is a great film.
Yes. Nick, where can they find you?
Find me on the platform formerly known as Twitter at Supermans_Papa. You can find me on Threads and Instagram at inirvin_23.
And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, I believe, all at AndrewLZ.com. And then you can find me on Letterboxd, and that's just AndrewLZ. In fact, on my TikTok, probably right now, you can probably see my initial reaction to The Boy and the Heron, which may or may not have spoilers. It just depends on what happens later tonight, how I'm feeling after I watch it. But yeah, and then if you could, like, share, subscribe, write a
review. Give us money.
I mean, Cash App and Venmo is all Andrew LZ, I believe. Yeah, I look like a disheveled mess in the picture. If it looks like somebody going through a crisis, that's me. You okay there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. I mean, the picture's the only picture of me I've ever liked, and I look like I'm in distress.
That says so much about you, sir.
Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But
you have to promise me on your way to see The Boy and the Heron, you have to listen to nothing but polka, polka, polka.
It's going to be hard finding one of those records, man. They only sold 200 of them.
Push 200 units in Sheboygan.
In Chicago? Sheboygan. Real big in Sheboygan.
Real big.
All right, Nick. I love you.
Love you.
I'll see you next Tuesday. What?
No. I was going to... Where's the line? You got it.
Yeah. I said it. And I will. I will actually see you next Thursday. I guess Thursdays now. Who knows?
Well, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, maybe.